I'm Gerry. I'm 72, and I'm your first ever Golden Bachelor. What I hope is that I can look at one of those women and know that I've found the right person.
Last hour of TV every damn week, and last night, in the words of Brittany, that was the most intense episode I've ever seen. Brittany, in general, reality TV-wise, what are you talking about?
Okay. It was crazy. I couldn't believe. First off, we have to acknowledge this silver fox with the silver tongue had 4 different makeout sessions.
Yes.
And at 4 different times, people expressing the kind of love that you write novels about. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, what was happening on Thursday night? That was insane.
It really was. It was so exciting because I watched it with a group of friends.
Yes, okay.
And we were going crazy because we're like, wait, our minds were blown that, I mean, they always say bad things happen in threes. And, you know, he ended up sending 3 ladies home because he doesn't get a 4th hometown date, only 3 hometown dates. Why? Because the Golden Bachelor and the Suits at ABC did not realize how wildly popular this show would be.
Yep.
And it's only 1-hour episodes instead of what every other Bachelor has been, 2 hours.
Right, and they usually have 4 hometown visits.
Yes.
So that was a shock right off the bat last night. And you could see the panic, and they featured one person's panic more than anyone else, and that was Ellen.
Yeah.
I fell for her last night.
I know.
Oh, Ellen, the pickleball lady. Mm-hmm. Gerry has a type. Brunette.
Yeah.
Doesn't he understand we can use a bottle and change our hair color?
Yeah, but move aside my blonde friends because Gerry would be mine if we were going for him. So
You're right. You're the brunette out of the 3 of us.
And now how about just how the show starts in general with, you know, Faith is off on the one-on-one date. And, you know, these ladies haven't left the mansion at all. So it's another way that the Golden cast is kind of getting screwed, but they're doing Hava Nagila in the pool.
I know.
Leslie led exercise. She's a dance teacher from Minnesota. You know, Leslie Fema. So she was leading a water aerobic song and dance.
So good.
But so one of the cool things I think, in addition to everything else cool about watching this age group find love on TV and being involved in The Bachelor and The Bachelorette franchise is that they're not really catty. We had one catty instance, but they really genuinely kind of are happy for each other. At least they're showing it on TV.
Yeah.
And I think they're really are
genuine,
friends.
Yeah.
It's genuine.
Isn't that fun? Especially like we've been kind of relying on a lot of controversy in our reality TV and people fighting. It's actually super fun to see people get along. And it's almost watching Ellen leave was not only sad to watch her say goodbye to Gerry, but it was sad to watch her say goodbye to the women.
Yes.
And that feels like it was for some of the women, like Susan and Sandra, I think saying goodbye to the other woman was bigger. Susan, the one who looked like Kris Jenner. She never had a connection with them.
But she was
lovely.
She was a favorite in the house. She did people's hair and makeup.
Yes.
She cooked for people. Like she
was a champion for other women.
Yeah, she was really a champ. And Sandra, I always felt never got out of the friend zone, but she was a personal favorite just because she was so zingy. This is the lady who missed her daughter's wedding, and it was not her daughter's first wedding.
We knew that. But the other thing about Sandra, another thing is we didn't really see her recover after she played Never Would I Never with ice cream.
Never have I ever, Julia.
Well, whatever.
That's how you play
Same
that game.
thing. Never would I have.
No, never
they're
have
two
I
different.
ever.
Never have I ever. And she was eating the ice cream saying, I'm lactose intolerant. She never seemed to get her energy back even.
Well, and you know, when they did the group date in Santa Monica, it was probably in September. I could feel the ocean haze because I felt my hair frizzing up last night. It was slightly warm and drizzly, and the ladies' hair they all just had frizzy hair from that ocean air. And but I loved how Gerry, I mean, everyone, like the 3 women he gave roses to,
Faith, Leslie, and Teresa.
They all confided really, vulnerable things to him, and he was so lovely about it. I thought he was the strongest with Leslie. I got you, and she said, I've been cheated on many, many times. And he said, I got you, and
no, the bigger line. You're my girl.
You're my girl. That's right. And they
that
made
was
it,
an interesting line.
Well, they had made it in the trailer, or the teaser last week. Looked like he was saying that to Ellen.
Yeah.
They did some trickery there.
They did. You're my girl seems very controversial. And it was like a whisper where like a lot of people who are kind of new to the reality TV world will assume a whisper doesn't get picked up. And it felt like he didn't want us to hear that. Like that was kind of a slip.
Like
why is You're My Girl a slip up?
Because he's admitting
out of all of them, like saying you're my girl, and it's like almost an I love you, like you're my girl.
No, it isn't. No,
it's
it isn't.
close.
I thought here was my take, but Lori, that's your take.
I know, but I'm just saying, like he was so. Thank you for sharing. You know, he dodged very many things,
He did.
And I think because Leslie was maybe the most vulnerable that she'd been, he really wanted to give her something, but he's stopping short of saying I love you or feeling the same way back to anybody.
But the comment, if some guy said to me, "You're my girl and we're in a competition," I would think,
I got this.
I'm the one.
Yeah.
I got this.
Right.
That's my interpretation.
Same.
I think Brittany and I agree with that. But you're right,
Well, now
Lori.
anybody that's listening who wants to know how to really lock somebody down, say you're my girl, you're my
guy.
Yeah, well,
People
I'll go
fall
home with
for
you.
it.
And you don't want to give them, when you don't want to say, I love you.
Yeah, you're my girl.
You're my girl.
You're my girl.
You're my guy.
Or you can do
And
what Gerry does and you just start Gerry-necking is a term that I've started because he makes out with everybody.
Yeah, he really does.
And I think good for him. You have to figure out who you have chemistry with in addition to the other stuff. We're going to talk more about this when we come back because I want to take apart the once in a lifetime date.
Oh, okay.
It was once in a lifetime. We'll be right back talking about the Golden Bachelor on My Talk 1071. We're talking Golden Bachelor, Gerry.
One of the things that did make me laugh out loud was when Teresa, this is when most of the women had a chance to have their, deep conversation with them if they weren't
before the final rose ceremony.
Yeah. And Teresa says, I feel like I can't live without you. And Gerry says, that's so nice of you to say.
I know.
I kind of thought maybe it had changed there. Where Brittany's with us, joining us, talking about the Golden Bachelor.
And then poor Elaine, when she delivered the line, we could be teammates for life. And
Who said that?
Elaine, the pickleball lady.
Oh, Ellen.
Who's Elaine?
Ellen, I mean. You could be my teammate for life. I just kind of went, oh.
I know. And then I have to, at that point, I wrote Social Security Smoocher because at that point it was our fourth makeout of the show. And I was like, yeah. And I felt so bad because you could just tell that was not, like the other kisses were like, they're about to do it. And like Ellen was like, no, it's not the same vibe.
Well, okay, so let's go back. So last night, the Golden Bachelor, we're just taking it down because hometowns are starting next week. So one person got a one-on-one date, and it was Faith. And Faith was the one who drove in on the motorcycle. We really haven't...
First impression,
and we haven't really heard or seen them together really since then.
And she's a radio... she's like a DJ in Iowa. She's got a show.
She's got a show.
She lives the closest to him.
Yes.
Iowa, Indiana.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so the envelope comes in and the guy comes in, Jesse Palmer, and says, one of you is going to get a once in a lifetime date. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, well, what could that be? So
there they are, stuck in Malibu, or wherever they are.
Shout out. All right. So anyway, a helicopter shows up, and Faith is like, I'm afraid of heights.
Right.
Get on the helicopter. And then the helicopter flies over L.A. and sees the mansion.
And downtown L.A., kind of a canyon with those tall buildings, scary.
I would have been afraid.
I know.
And I just think so many helicopters there would have been afraid. But then they go out to the ocean, and there's this big ship. And they're getting close to it, and they're like, oh, my gosh, it's got a helicopter pad on it, and they land. That was tricky landing.
Julia, the Bachelor producers never miss an opportunity to cram two people and a camera operator in a helicopter. Never.
Listen,
Every
that's
season.
an expensive venture.
No, but
was.
it's a status quo thing they do.
But landing on a boat and then leaving them on this lovely yacht in the middle of the ocean on a sunny day?
You know what? I just looked at Faith, and I wanted her to have a scarf on and different shoes and a sweater. She looked cold.
Yeah, it was really good to see them get in the hot tub because I was feeling cold the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Julia, though. I've never seen it where they actually show a helicopter land on a boat because, like you see it quickly.
Yeah.
it is kind of
It
terrifying.
looked like it was tricky.
I agree. I did have to admit to my husband and any witnesses, I wanted to bang Gerry. He looked really good on that yacht.
Okay. All right. So let's just talk about this. He does have piercing blue eyes.
Yeah. And he looked tan as heck. Like a
Yeah.
tan looks good on him. His Ray-Bans. I was like,
He still has hair.
meow.
I know. But I kind of thought that was a date. But like you said, Lori, she's my age. She's older than me by a little bit. But I was looking at her outfit and stuff, and I thought, why didn't they tell her to bring a sweater along or something? But she had a swimsuit.
Yeah, no, they told her one thing, you know, but I mean, nobody walks on a yacht with big wooden wedges.
Yeah.
You know, they make you take your shoes off. And, you know, I just feel like sometimes we really can feel how they compress this show.
Yeah.
In what used to be 2 hours, you know, think of all the nuggets they must be leaving behind with these ladies who are just so great. Someone on Twitter said to ABC, how about you have a show where we bring all these women back to stay in the mansion and bring in like 5 men every week until one of these queens finds love, like Golden Paradise.
I love that. I love that idea. Because you root for all of them.
Yeah, I need
every
to-
single one.
I need us, like, I literally wrote a long paragraph about how we need to figure out, because Ellen, I can't find her on social media. I need to know that she found her person. I thought about her a bunch.
A little soon because she hadn't dated anyone for 6 or 7 years.
but I need
probably
her.
gave her a mojo.
She's a catch. And also,
I
like,
thought so.
Susan, also, I would like to know that she's doing well. And I want her to find love. Like, all these people, I want them to find love. I'm obsessed with them.
And I can't wait till the women tell all. I've never liked watching those in years. This one, I want to see because I think there's friendship there and they'd be excited to see each other. And
Ellen is the one who, if you'll remember, the very first episode, they dedicated her friend encouraged her to apply, and the show was dedicated to her friend Robin, who died before the first episode could air. But Gerry doesn't like blondes. Remember the one night he sent home like 5 good-looking blondes?
He really
The
doesn't.
second night. He has a type. If you take the 3 of them, Leslie, Teresa, and Faith, I mean, maybe not sisters, but they definitely all have the same look. So we know what his type is.
The friend's name is Roberta. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. And I was with you, like, Lori, I kept going, I know they don't have chemistry, but I really wanted her to get a hometown. So at least
same.
Roberta we could see, but I just knew that wasn't going to happen.
you know, the one thing that I will say that I think we've said all along why this Bachelor is so different besides the age range and that sort of stuff is that how respectful he is to the women and himself. Yeah. And the night he was supposed to give out a rose the night of the group date on the Santa Monica Pier, and he was too verklempt. He did not want to hurt Ellen's feelings.
Yeah.
He had to go back and regroup because she has built. I think he just felt for her, and he didn't want to hurt her feelings that night.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
he didn't have a connection with the other 2 that left.
No.
He did with her.
And I think they all were so vulnerable on that night. And I think giving anybody a rose would have almost kind of like punished people for being so vulnerable. And they all shot their shot that night. The 3 that I just really love him. And you're right. Like, I was worried who was going to get the rose. So I was so happy when he was like, it just doesn't feel right tonight.
Yeah. Who do you think is the fan
runner?
favorite?
The fan favorite or the front runner?
Both.
Okay. For me right now, for some reason, I'm thinking Faith.
Yeah.
Faith or Teresa?
Oh.
For fan favorite?
Well, for the one he's going to pick.
Oh, I think it's Leslie.
You think he's going to pick Leslie?
I do.
I think
Is he picking Leslie?
I agree with Lori. I think he's picking Leslie. I think the fan favorite will be Faith. She's got the backstory that we're all kind of interested in. She's given us a glimpse of being a homeless teen, she said, you know, and you go, oh my God. Also, you guys, I don't know who we root for. We root for somebody who's in radio like us or Leslie who lives here.
Yeah. What about Teresa? Like, people seem to not like her.
I don't know why I'm not into her.
I kind of feel bad for her because I think she has a little bit of a case of crazy eyes where when she says something intense, I go, oh my God, she's going to try to wear your skin later.
Yeah.
But I think that's not her fault. Like, I shouldn't blame her for that because I'm also a crazy person. So, like, I think she is in love with being in love, though. So I don't know how much because she fell hard and fast, but she also had the first date. So I don't know.
She did. I'm wondering, I feel like the other two have more independent lives, and I feel like she, for some reason, maybe I don't know what more about her, but I feel like she's too about him. Is that wrong?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. Here's the question.
Okay.
Who's going to move to Indiana?
Well, first of all,
Radio lady Faith could easily move, but I don't see Leslie Fema moving to Indiana.
and he's got 4 daughters. He's not, and grandkids. He's not. Is
2
Leslie
daughters.
Fema going to be the one?
Well, here's what I'll just tell you. I watched an Us Weekly. Gerry is really doing a lot of interviews with the entertainment outlets, and they did an Us Weekly Zoom with him a couple days ago, and he's obviously in a bedroom, and there's somebody laying on the bed, and you can see in the mirror, but all you can really see is that it's a slender brunette. Now, that could be any of the 3.
Lori.
But if you peeked at it, the more I convinced myself it was Leslie. But, I mean, all 3 of them do resemble each other in their height, their, the way their body shapes are, they're... So, I don't know.
Well,
I didn't tell you anything.
He's been smitten with Leslie since day one.
Would you want to hear Leslie's
Leslie
poem?
sent out a poem to him on Insta today.
Yeah,
Well,
let's hear it.
this is a poem she apparently... Did she whisper to him or share with him and they didn't put it on camera?
Maybe. I didn't
It's
hear
a poem that Leslie recited to Gerry the first night she met him.
Okay.
And the Golden Bachelor, they cut it out.
Okay.
Okay, again, because the show's only an hour, they had to cut out good things. So here I'm just going to play it off my Instagram. Wait, let me do the...
Bachelor in the world today.
Wait, I'll go back. Oh, geez, never mind. Wait, I'm doing it.
Staying active and fit. If you're anything like me, you just don't want to sit. I know you miss your family from your head to your toes, but it'll all be worth it after the final rose. I love to dance. It's what I do. Plus, skating, snowboarding, paddleboarding, and pickleball, to name a few. So let's get up and dance through this journey together. Because, Gerry, you make my heart feel light as a feather. Gerry, oh, Gerry.
That's
What
cute.
can I say?
Yeah.
That's cute. Her first night, she had that ready for him.
She had that, and they cut it. They had left it on the cutting room floor, and then they gave her the okay to do it.
I mean,
Go ahead,
have a-
Brittany.
She does have to work on her rhyming schemes, okay? There was some, it did not match. I have notes for her.
Yeah.
I'll get back to her.
All right,
Yeah.
let's get him to. Okay, we're going to go around the room. Lori, who's going to take it?
I think next week he's going to send home Faith after they go to wherever they're going. Are they going someplace fancy next week?
Wasn't it hometown?
Well, I
Oh,
feel
yeah,
like-
it's hometown. So
okay.
they're going hometown. I think after the hometown, Faith is not going to get a rose, and it's going to be Teresa and Leslie in the finale.
Okay, who do you think next week's going home, Brittany?
I think that Teresa is going home. I think that it feels like Faith and Leslie have more of like a grown-up sexy time vibe.
I feel the same way.
All right.
All right, so Lori thinks it's going to be
I just think
Faith is leaving.
Yeah. Whoever we saw in the trailer, whoever said, "Are you going to be my new papa?" I was like, right away. I was like, oh.
I'd tell that grandkid you're out of the will. You're done.
Yeah, right.
No
Do
more.
not say
Sorry.
that.
I would, because somebody put him up to that, right? Like, oh. Also, but I do
All
agree.
I can think of is that's Teresa's grandkids.
Yeah.
Because her husband died like 7 years ago. Papa.
But I think, well, Leslie's kids are grown. Does she have grandkids?
Yeah, she does.
I mean, and we don't know about Faith's grandkids. We don't know anything.
And what's your guys' final? What do you guys? Because I think me and Lori are both thinking it's going to be Leslie. Julia, who do you think it's going to be the final?
Okay.
We're so far away from that. So much
I know,
intense
but
things to happen.
I feel like, how have we not? We live here in the Twin Cities. How have we not gotten a rumor?
Because, Julia,
They're
if
sworn.
you spoil the
Yes.
ending of this show,
Yep.
you are on the hook for all the production costs, which what would that be?
A lot.
A lot of money. So no one is spilling anything.
Okay, but can we, you guys, with all of our who we know, can't we manifest her on our show? And I say our show very loosely.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to work on that. I'll start a manifesto board.
Let
and
her
we got this.
have her come meet us, be in studio next Friday.
I'm on it. Okay, no,
You
I'll
won't
write
be
it.
able to be on any shows until this show is over.
Okay, well,
Golden
I'll schedule
Bachelor.
it. I'll schedule it for the finale, you guys. I'll work on that.
Because notice no one's doing interviews, like
With her or the other women. It's
not
all with
really.
him.
They're doing it when they leave.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going between Faith and Leslie. All right.
Well, you don't have to decide. You've got next week's episode to then really lock in, and because the hometowns, they tell a lot.
We're
Yeah.
loving the Golden Bachelor. Thank you, ABC.
Yeah. And
We're
we're
ready
about
for
to hit.
more.
Who's excited for Fantasy Suites? Because I
am.
You know he'll go to all of them.
Yeah,
we're gonna call him-
Gary.
Yeah.
Gary needs to go to all of them. He's making up for last time. He was a married man for so many years.
the boom boomer. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. We got to wrap up this episode of The Golden Bachelor. Thanks, Brittany, for
Love you guys.
weighing in.